We may be approaching summer, but it's time for another tax lesson. Let's welcome back our friend Thomas Spade, certified public accountant and instructor at COC's Business School, for this Tax Tuesday that some recent news just came down. It sounds like Uncle Sam is getting even further into our business.
Well, yes, they have been, and what they're looking for are ways to pay for things like, stimulus payments over the last couple of years,
right,
and other things. And of course, I presume you're talking about the 1099-K.
Indeed, that's exactly what I'm talking about, which we kind of touched on this the last couple of times that you came on, but maybe you can flesh it out a little bit for us.
It's time.
Yeah.
The 1099-K is a form that came out back in, I'd say, around 2010, 2011. Originally, it was a way to ensure that people were reporting all of their credit card transactions as a way to pay for the Affordable Care Act. Now, back then, there was a high limit, but now the limit's much lower, which was part of the third stimulus package that got passed by Congress last year. So if you receive $600 or more in credit card payments throughout the year, you're going to get a 1099-K reporting the gross amount of the payments that you received.
So when you talk about credit card payments, what are we talking about exactly? We're not just talking about people charging to their credit card. We're talking about receiving
through
money
PayPal, Uber,
okay,
Lyft, Cash App, any of those
Kickstarter,
apps,
eBay,
GoFundMe, all of the above. You get more than $600 within a year, you're going to get this 1099, and it's going to be the gross amount before any fees are deducted. This is going to have to get reported on your tax return. Oh, and the IRS is going to be looking for it on your tax return, because remember, they get a copy of the 1099 just like you do.
Okay, so when we're talking about gross amount before fees, so if you do any kind of gig work through a website or something and they charge a lot of fees for those things, well, it's whatever the client is paying,
right,
that's what you pay the tax on.
Exactly.
So you're still going to have all those fees deducted plus this tax now that you're going to have to pay on.
That's right, but it may not be time to panic.
Okay.
Here's why. The income that you receive, it all depends on what it's for, where you need to report it. So for example, if you already have a business, like you are an Uber driver or a Lyft driver, you get a 1099-K, you probably should be reporting that income on a Schedule C as self-employment income anyway. You just got to make sure that you report at least the number that's on the 1099-K and then deduct the fees separately as a deduction. Another time this could happen is if you sell, say, a piece of furniture on Facebook Marketplace and you get paid through Cash App or PayPal, and somebody selects the little button that says payment for goods or services, that's going to trigger the 1099-K. Now, in that case, is that income taxable? Probably not, because you would then have to report it as a capital transaction, like a stock sale. So you would have capital gain if you sold, say, the dresser on Facebook Marketplace for more than what you paid for it, but chances are you didn't. So as long as you get some documentation to prove that you paid at least that much, then you're fine, but you can't deduct the loss. Now,
but do you mean you have to have the receipt for the original purchase of that item? Because if we're selling old furniture and old bicycles and old pieces of clothing or whatever, chances are we're not going to have those receipts. So how do we prove that we're selling it for less than what we paid for when we know we paid more for it than what we sold it for?
And therein lies the problem with all of this. So my best recommendation is to keep the best records that you possibly can. My best recommendation for everybody is this. If you got a 1099-K, call a tax professional. Do not try to invoke the divine intercession of Our Lady of TurboTax this time. You've got to go get somebody to help you.
I'm going to leave it on that advice. That was a great way to end the segment. I want to thank you so much, Thomas.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to see you back soon. I have a feeling.
Oh, yeah.
We're back after this.